Right now, Congress is debating a $120 billion bailout of the restaurant industry. Some of America's best-known chefs are supporting the proposal. 6 million of the 23 million people who lost their job early in the pandemic worked in the food and beverage industry. Errol Barnett talked to several restaurant owners, about their fight to stay afloat. Errol, good morning.
Good morning. Look, this is how bad things are. This time last week, the restaurant you see behind me, it's called Fonda. It's a Mexican restaurant. It was open after suffering through the pandemic, offering delivery takeout and setting up in-street dining. But the owner told me she had to close permanently just a few days ago because she couldn't get a break on rent. And that story is repeating itself millions of times over all throughout the country. So now some influential figures are pressing Congress to help.
Once crowded and full of life, bars and restaurants are now struggling to survive.
A bar as a setting just leads to a transmission.
And amid coronavirus spikes, state restrictions have made it challenging for more than 1 million establishments across the country to stay open.
We do not want to shut down Ohio bars and restaurants. That would be devastating to them.
Where's the people?
Carolina Gutierrez and her husband run Arapazos with 2 locations in central Ohio.
Downtown is like a ghost town, you know. I think the buildings are occupy about less than 50%. And we depend on the business people, especially here in the downtown area.
Even after laying off staff and ramping up takeout, Gutierrez fears she will not be able to afford her $8,000 a month rent in downtown Columbus.
The landlord needs to get his money, but if I'm down 50%, 60%, how am I going to come up with that money, you know? I mean, when I think about it, it's just scary because our name is on it. So that means, you know, he can put a lien on my house. He can go after us.
One recent report predicts up to 230,000 restaurants could permanently close by the end of the year.
16 million people risk losing their jobs.
To establish a lifeline, the newly formed Independent Restaurant Coalition launched this ad this week urging Congress to act.
Without your help, our favorite places to eat will be gone forever.
How bad are things right now for the restaurant industry?
Right now things are pretty bad for the restaurant industry. Even if restaurants are allowed to open at 50% capacity, we're not doing 50% of the business.
Chef and TV host Tom Colicchio is just one of the voices supporting the Restaurants Act, a bipartisan proposal which would provide $120 billion to help small and mid-sized eateries.
This is everything that will give us the necessary lifeline to get through this period, but also to get slightly past here and get open. And so when we finally do have a vaccine and when the country finally opens up and people feel comfortable coming back, we'll have restaurants to get back to.
Without government help, we just can't stay afloat.
Chef Nina Compton has laid off nearly 100 people at her 2 restaurants in New Orleans. But she says the impact is felt far beyond her doors.
This is about the farmer that provides me beautiful produce. This is about the fishermen that give me beautiful shrimp. I'm keeping their jobs alive.
So you're looking for a little bit of hope right now?
Everybody's looking for a little bit of hope because it's not just the Nina Compton restaurant. I'm fighting for many people that don't have a voice, that are, in their kitchens right now just trying to make things work.
Now, the Restaurant Coalition says its effort has already prompted thousands of calls to Capitol Hill, and a third of Congress, in fact, has signed on to co-sponsor this bill. And that is crucial right now because another round of stimulus spending is being negotiated, and all of these restaurant owners argue any money they receive, as Nina Compton mentioned, isn't just a stimulus for them, it's a direct infusion of money to all of their clients in the community as well. Jeff?
All right, thanks. A big story that's not going anywhere right now. Errol Barnett. You can hear more of his conversation with chefs Tom Colicchio and Nina Compton on today's CBS This Morning podcast.